Afternoon Divas, Happiness International Day today, and I just wanted to have a quick conversation around, I guess, happiness in general and where it's all at. I recently attended some training and I learnt a really, mind-blowing really for me in what is called the happiness pie. So the happiness pie is a scientifically proven, research-driven theory. So it's not about, my trainer called it conceptual fluff, which I love the terminology, and it is really about, looking at, okay, so I'm this happy, but why am I not as happy as maybe my sibling is, or my friend is, or, why do they seem to be, we're the same, and our life's great, and I've got nothing to complain about, and I'm happy, I should be really, really happy. Why am I at a certain level of happiness? And it all comes down to this study that was undertaken, and it went back years and years and looked at twins and surveyed twins and followed them through. So I just wanted to talk to you very quickly about the happiness pie and about how we can build what's called our toolbox and our go-to when our times are tough, and what we can do to ensure that we stay positive and happy and motivated. So this is the happiness pie. So we've got a 40%, a 10%, and a 50%. Now, my trainer did tell me, and I will say it too, some people are going to hate you when you talk about this, and it is so true because it blows away so many excuses people have used about, about how they behave and not accepting responsibility for their behaviour based on previous things. So this 50% is your DNA. So 50% of how happy you can ever possibly be is your 50%. So mum and dads, we've got a lot to be accountable for. But that's out of your control. You cannot change that, all right? So that's your baseline of happiness, and DNA predicts that out of our control. So unfortunately, sometimes that's really sucky, sometimes that's great, but that's completely out of our control. Our 10% is our previous history. So it's our upbringing, it's what's happened to us, where we are today because of what's happened previously, our past experiences, all of those. It's only 10%. So whenever you hear of a person saying, oh yeah, but this happened to me and that's why, and this happened to me and that's why, and blaming it on previous and past and upbringings and those sorts of things, that's only 10% of how happy you can be, comes from that. The 40%, which is our most important in my world, and really sometimes, a lot of the times, the only thing that we have control over or that we can change is what our toolkit is. So what we're doing daily and to keep ourselves happy. So for me, it's my family. It's my running. I enjoy my running. It's being involved in Divas. It's my work. It's all of the things that I find in my world that makes me happy and keeps me positive. It's the people I surround myself with, because believe it or not, that has a huge impact on how we are and our perception and things. But it also influences on how happy we can potentially be with the people we surround ourselves with. So for me, that 40% is, and for all of us, is critical, and what we're doing to fill that 40% is huge. So for instance, if you're on the couch all of the time, if you're eating rubbish all of the time, if you're surrounded by negative Nancy's or victim mentality where woe is me, the world owes me, and how awful life is, unfortunately, you're filling your 40% with absolute rubbish, and that's all you're going to get back. So that 40% is crucial for us as people, us as mums, us as friends, as daughters, as wives, of all of those things. This is crucial, and also as mums, to make sure that we're filling our kids 40% with resilience, positivity, love, all of those amazing things, and giving them skill sets. So whether it's reading or running or fishing or whatever it happens to be, that they know that when times are tough, they've got to go to. They've got something to go to. Now, keep in mind, if this 40% is filled with rubbish, I have a hard day, I'm having problems at home, life's just really crummy. If I've only got in my 40% to go out and get drunk, or to go and pull a bender, or just to be nasty and horrible, that's all that I've got in my toolkit. That's the only resources I have available to myself. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's my go-to. If this 40% is full of that positivity and I've had a really crappy day, I'm going to go and hang out with my family, just relax, enjoy the environment I'm in, and watch my son play and hang out with hubby, or I'm going to go for a run with the girls and release that way. That's my go-to. That's my 40%. There was a study that looked at twins. These two twins were 16 when they left home. It was in America, and he stayed in America. Dad was alcoholic. Mum was on Valium to get through. So you can imagine life wasn't great for these identical twins. At the age of 16, they both moved interstate, different areas. Now, the researchers followed up, and at 32 they found these exact twins, and they met the first twin. Now, this first twin was on his second marriage, was an alcoholic, had no steady job. His son was going down the same path as what he had in his previous had. And they sat down and asked him a series of questions, and the last question they asked was, what makes you think that why you are where you are today? And he said, well, you saw my history. What did you expect to find? They went and met with the other twin, and the other twin was average Joe. He was on his first marriage. They were happy. The child was good at school, nothing excelling or outstanding, but, stable, had a good job, life was good. They asked the exact same set of questions, and they then finished off with also, and why do you think you are where you are today? And his answer was, you saw my past history. What did you expect to find? Now, these were exactly the same. So this 10% was exactly the same. This 50% was exactly the same. But this 40%, something had changed. This 40% may have been a teacher that said, I believe in you, or you can do whatever you want to do. Or it could have been at a workplace where someone mentored him and took him under his wing. So this 40% for these two set of twins set them in completely different directions. So on Happiness Day today, take a moment to figure out what is in your 40%, what you can be doing to fill that toolbox, and what you'll go to, and that positivity, and surrounding yourself with the positive and strategies. So if you know that you're going to have a bit of a hard week, okay, so what am I going to do to get through that week, and what am I going to do to get myself back to where I want to be? But also as parents and partners, have a think about your children's and your partner's 40% and what you can do to help influence that and build that toolkit for them as well. Take care, guys, and I'll chat soon. See ya.